naming paglingkuran, lahat bawat mamamayan, makakaboto ng ligtas bawat botante, sino man. Isipan natin mapayapa, tamang bilang makikita. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro ka. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos, bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kumpleto. Botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang babantayan. Malayang alalan tayo, hatid sa taong bayan. Tulong-tulong sa ligtas na pagboto. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro ka. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos, bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan nating kumpleto. Siguro tayo sa darating na Mayo, handa't garantisado lahat, bilang ng boto tututukan ang gusto at pantay. Sarado todo pantay, pantay na pagtingin, walang agrabyado. Detayado para sa Pilipino, malinis na halalan, patas sa lahat ng tao, bigay todo naming babantayan. Mula botohan hanggang bilangan, vote safe ang mamamayan. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro ka. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos, bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kumpleto. Handa na lahat ng kailangan sa darating na botohan. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, vote safe wag mag-aalangan. Handa naming paglingkuran, lahat bawat mamamayan, makakaboto ng ligtas bawat botante, sino man. Isipan natin mapayapa, tamang bilang makikita. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro ka. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos, bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kumpleto. Botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang babantayan. Malayang alalan tayo, hatid sa taong bayan. Tulong-tulong sa ligtas na pagboto. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro ka. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos, bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kumpleto. Siguro tayo sa darating na Mayo, handa't garantisado lahat, bilang ng boto tututukan ang gusto at pantay. Sarado todo pantay, pantay na pagtingin, walang agrabyado. Detayado para sa Pilipino, malinis na halalan, patas sa lahat ng tao, bigay todo naming babantayan. Mula botohan hanggang bilangan, vote safe ang mama idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Handa na lahat ng kailangan sa darating na botohan. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, vote safe, wag mag-aalangan. Handa namin paglingkuran lahat, bawat mamamayan. Makakaboto ng ligtas, bawat botante, sino man. Isipan natin mapayapa, tamang bilang makikita. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro ka. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang babantayan. Malayang alalan tayo, hatid sa taong bayan. Tulong-tulong sa ligtas na pagboto. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Siguro tayo sa darating na Mayo, handa't garantisado lahat. Bilang ng boto, tututukan ang gusto at pantay. Sarado todo pantay, pantay na pagtingin, walang agrabyado. Detayado para sa Pilipino. Malinis na halalan, patas sa lahat ng tao. Bigay todo namin babantayan. Mula botohan hanggang bilangan, vote safe ang mamamayan. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro ka. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Handa na lahat ng kailangan sa darating na botohan. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, vote safe, wag mag-aalangan. Handa namin paglingkuran lahat, bawat mamamayan. Makakaboto ng likas, bawat botante, sino man. Isipan natin mapayapa, tamang bilang makikita. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro ka. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang babantayan. Malayang alalan tayo, hatid sa taong bayan. Tulong-tulong sa ligtas na pagboto. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Siguro tayo sa darating na Mayo, handa't garantisado garantisado lahat. Bilang ng boto, tututukan ang gusto at bantay. Sarado, todo, pantay. Pantay na pagtingin, walang agrabyado. Detayado para sa Pilipino. Malinis na halalan, patas sa lahat ng tao. Bigay todo naming babantayan. Mula botohan hanggang bilangan, vote si pang mamamayan. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paganda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Handa na lahat ng kailangan sa darating na botohan. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, vote safe, huwag mag-aalangan. Handa namin paglingkuran lahat, bawat mamamayan. Makakaboto ng likas, bawat botante, sino man. Isipan natin mapayapa, tamang bilang makikita. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang, babantayan. Malayang alalan tayo, hatid sa taong bayan. Tulong-tulong sa ligtas na pagboto. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Siguro tayo sa darating na Mayo, handa't garantisado lahat. Bilang ng boto, tututukan ang gusto at bantay. Sarado, todo, pantay. Pantay na pagtingin, walang agrabyado. Detayado. Handa namin paglingkuran lahat, bawat mamamayan. Makakaboto ng likas, bawat botante, sino man. Isipan natin mapayapa, tamang bilang makikita. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda.
Good afternoon, Filipinas. I'd like to welcome all of you to the launch of Let's Vote Pinas. My name is Hanyo Busan, your host for today. And speaking of today, we've got 21 days to go before the most awaited national and local elections. And you know what? The preparations of the Commission on Elections has been very tight to be able to ensure safe and, of course, fair elections. Now, our aim, of course, for this VCM, or this vote counting machine demonstration and voting exercise, or experience rather, is to be able to promote public trust in the electoral process. And of course, we'll be able to enable you, the voting public, to be able to participate in the walkthrough of the voting process in preparation for Election Day. So today is just a kickoff, and eventually we will be going to 76 malls nationwide. So we're going to start on April 20 to 24 at the SM Supermalls in Luzon, and then April 22 to 24 will be in Visayas and Mindanao. So you know what, everybody, this is truly a very exciting and very momentous endeavor for our nation. So we would like to thank all of you for joining us today. Speaking of all of you, again, I see empty seats at the front. So feel free to occupy, for those that are at the back, feel free to occupy the seats towards the front of the stage, okay? Now, before we move on with our program, of course, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of our guests today. We have Honorable Saidaman B. Pangarungan, a Chairman COMELEC. We have with us Mr. Stephen T. Tan, President, SM Supermalls. Honorable Marlon S. Casquejo, Commissioner COMELEC. Mr. Bien C. Mateo, Senior Vice President of SM Supermalls. As well as Attorney Bartolome J. Sino Cruz Jr., Executive Director COMELEC. So again, thank you so much, gentlemen, from both the Commission on Elections and SM Supermalls for gracing our kickoff for today. So without further ado, to formally open and welcome everyone, let us all welcome the Senior Vice President for Mall Operations of SM Supermalls, Mr. Bien Mateo.
Pardon me for removing my mask. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest from the COMELEC, our COMELEC Chairman, Honorable Saidaman Pangarungan, sir. Commissioner Marlon Casquejo, sir. Executive Director Bartolome Sino Cruz Jr. Spokesperson Director James Jimenez, sir. Colleagues, SM family, friends from the media, a pleasant day to each of you. I welcome this notable project of COMELEC, Let's Vote Pinas, a vote counting machine demo and experience, which will be very helpful for first-time voters and the many Generation Z voters also, for whom the 2022 elections will be their first-time experience. This commendable joint initiative of the COMELEC and SM Supermalls in voter education and public confidence will surely streamline the electoral process come May 9. Today, you have our commitment that all our 78 SM malls will participate in Let's Vote Pinas as venues for physical setup of the voting machines. A total of 300,000 mock ballots will be administered by the COMELEC officials who will be tasked to operate the machines inside our malls. As you know, SM Supermalls has always been a staunch supporter of all government initiatives and has been the COMELEC's partner since 2014 through the biometrics capturing program and again 2021 through the voter registration program. With Let's Vote Pinas, we pledge to continue to be government's reliable conduit for voter education, which is direly needed as we have a big number of first-time voters this year. So on behalf of Mr. Hansi, our chairman of the Executive Committee of SM Prime, we thank you for coming today. And together with you, we wish the Let's Vote Pinas voter education program a sincere success.
Thank you so much for your wonderful and heartwarming remarks, Mr. Bien. Now, at this point, it's now time to hear a powerful message from the busiest agency this season, of course, the Commission on Elections, of course, presented by none other than the chairman of the Commission on Elections. Please welcome Honorable Saidaman B. Pangarungan.
Mr. Stephen Tan, President of SM Supermalls, Mr. BNC Mateo, the HM Mall family, my fellow COMELEC Commissioner Marlon Casquijo, our Executive Director Bartolome Chino Cruz, guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Blessings of peace upon everyone. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. We are delighted to partner with SM Supermalls for this endeavor. The COMELEC is determined to deliver a successful 2022 national and local elections. And one important factor for this success is voter education. Through this vote counting machine demo and experience, we hope to familiarize each voter with the tool that we will use to record and transmit their votes. And what better way to educate as many voters as possible than partnering with SM Supermalls, the most ubiquitous mall in the Philippines. With this project, we aim to dispel apprehension and fear of some voters regarding the use and security of the vote counting machine. They are state-of-the-art equipment that have been used by other countries. They are engineered to be secure and tamper-proof. The programming and codes for the machines are also safe and secure. So we invite our voters to test them and familiarize themselves with this machine, so that when election day comes, we are confident that our vote will be recorded and counted securely. Our partnership with SM Supermall is for our country and for our people. Again, maraming salamat SM Supermall in partnering with COMELEC. Congratulations and good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chairman Pangarungan, for that message of encouragement. You know, indeed, voter education is very important, and who else best to partner it with than with SM Supermalls. So, you know, we hope that this actually encourages everybody to exercise your right to vote and be part of this very important event in our country's history. So at this point, let us witness as SM Supermalls and the Commission on Elections formalize this wonderful partnership with the signing of the Memorandum of Agreement. May we, of course, ask our representatives from SM Supermalls and the Commission on Elections to join us. Of course, they have already joined us here on stage. We have with us Honorable Saidaman B. Pangarungan, Chairman COMELEC, Mr. Stephen T. Tan, the President of SM Supermalls. We have Honorable Marlon S. Casquejo, Commissioner of COMELEC, and Mr. BNC Mateo, Senior Vice President of SM Supermalls, together with Attorney Bartolome J. Sino Cruz, Jr., Executive Director of COMELEC.
Botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang babantayan. Malayang alalan tayo, hatid sa taong bayan, tulong-tulong sa ligtas na pagboto. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan nating kumpleto. Siguro tayo sa darating na Mayo, handa't garantisado lahat. Bilang ng boto, tututukan ang gusto at bantay. Sarado, todo, pantay, pantay na pagtingin, walang agrabyado. Detayado para sa Pilipino. Malinis na halalan, patas sa lahat ng tao. Bigay todo naming babantayan. Mula botohan hanggang bilangan, vote safe ang mamamayan. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Handa na lahat ng kailangan sa darating na botohan. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, vote safe, wag mag-aalangan. Handa namin paglingkuran lahat, bawat mamamayan. Makakaboto ng likas, bawat botante, sino man. Isipan natin mapayapa, tamang bilang makikita. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kompleto. Botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang, babantayan. Malayang alalan tayo, hatid sa taong bayan, tulong-tulong sa ligtas na pagboto. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan nating kompleto. Siguro tayo sa darating na Mayo, handa't garantisado lahat. Bilang ng boto, tututukan ang gusto at bantay. Sarado, todo, pantay, pantay na pagtingin, walang agrabyado. Detayado para sa Pilipino. Malinis na halalan, patas sa lahat ng tao. Bigay todo naming babantayan. Mula botohan hanggang bilangan, vote safe ang mamamayan. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paghahanda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng
of agreement. And as you can see, it looks like we are almost wrapping up with that. And of course, this is just to be able to formalize everything. Again, we just want to remind you that, this is a very special event, very momentous as well. And it is the kickoff. Like we said, we will be going around all the 76 malls nationwide. And again, remember the dates. It's April 20 to 24 at SM Supermalls in the NCR region. And then for 3 days, that's April 22, 23, 24. It will be in the Visayas and Mindanao area. And then later on, of course, as requested, we will be having a photo op, but that will happen a little bit later. And then we're going to wind down to the press conference. So again, we'd like to thank all of you for being here. Please feel free, of course, like I said, to occupy the seats that aren't occupied, that are closer to the stage area.
botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang babantayan. Malayang-alalan tayo, hatid sa taong bayan. Tulong-tulong sa ligtas na pagboto. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa. Vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe siguradong paganda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kumpleto. Siguro tayo sa darating na Mayo, handa garantisado lahat. Bilang ng boto, tututukan ang gusto at pantay. Sarado todo, pantay, pantay na pagtingin, walang agrabyado. Detallado para sa Pilipino. Malinis na halalan, patas sa lahat ng tao.
So again, we are just winding down or wrapping up rather our signing of the memorandum of agreement. And you know, I was giving you the updates of this event because it is just the kickoff and the dates as well in the different areas of the SM Supermalls. Apparently, it is not 76 but 78 malls nationwide. So +2 is what we have. The other details are of course right behind you with our right by the stage. So it looks like pretty much all the gentlemen have already signed. And yes, looks like we're already done with the signing. So if you could please give a round of applause. Thank you so much to our distinguished gentlemen for being able to formalize this partnership as we promote public trust in the electoral process of conducting safe and fair elections. So moving forward, it is now time to hear a few words from our venue partner, SM Supermalls, who has been a longtime partner of the government in major projects towards nation building, of course, from voter registration to this, which is the Let's Vote Pinas kickoff. So please welcome the president of SM Supermalls, Mr. Stephen T. Tan.
Honorable Sideman Pangarungan, Chairman of the COMELEC, Honorable Commissioner Marlon Casquejo, Mr. Bartolome Sino Cruz Jr., Executive Director, COMELEC, the Deputy Executive Directors, Directors of the COMELEC, and the election officers, SM colleagues, and our friends from the press and media. Good afternoon, magandang hapon po. SM Supermalls is very happy and proud to be COMELEC's exclusive partner to the Let's Vote Pinas initiative, a very noble undertaking to equip our fellow countrymen with the confidence to exercise their right to vote. We have once again offered our malls to this partnership as part of our lasting commitment to both the national government and COMELEC about our support to nation building and services closer to the public. The national and local elections are only a few weeks away from today, and we laud the effort of the COMELEC in empowering and preparing everyone. The innovations you have introduced and your partnership with the private sector like us in SM are very forward-thinking, practical, and mutual trust building. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate the Commission on Elections once again for all the successful build towards the May 2022 elections, and likewise express our thanks and gratitude for the confidence in the SM Supermalls to be your partner all throughout, beginning from voters registration program in 2021 and now the Let's Vote Pinas joint initiative. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Ms. Stephen Tan, for that inspiring message to our fellow Filipinos. We'd now like to welcome another commissioner from the Commission on Elections to address the voting public. We have with us Commissioner Amanda Casquejo.
Chairman Saidamin Pangarungan, SM President Stephen Tan, Senior Vice President Mr. Bien Mateo, Executive Director Bart Sino Cruz, EID Director James Jimenez, to each and everyone who are here this afternoon to witness this event, a pleasant good afternoon. The signing of the MOA between the Commission on Elections and the SM Supermalls marks a partnership towards a common goal, that is the widest range and effective means of educating the public on the use of the vote counting machines and give them a hands-on experience on how votes will be cast, feed to the machine, and be counted. The involvement of the public in this voting experience will assist the Commission in guaranteeing the public of how secure their votes are and that the sanctity of the ballots remains the paramount amidst misinformation that their votes can be maneuvered or even tracked. This will allow the voters to see for themselves that each ballot has several security markings that will eliminate any doubt that they have from the start, particularly among the first-time voters. But most importantly, giving the public this voting experience will lessen errors that the voters usually commit on election day, in shading the oval, handling the ballot, or even up to how the ballot is being fed to the machine. Minsan kasi, kahit yung madumihan lang natin ng kaunti ang balota, may epekto kung tatanggapin ba ito ng ating vote counting machine. Kaya malaking bagay na tinuturuan natin ang mga botante, hindi lang sa tamang pag-shade, kundi pati na rin paano ba nila dapat ingatan ang kanilang balota para di madumihan. Although we have the media to assist us in disseminating information to the public, but there is nothing that will replace a hands-on experience compared to just hearing or visualizing the process. This is precisely the reason why this partnership with SM is very important to us, since the voters' education will reach even the far corners of the country. The selfless act of the management of SM is something that we admire, since we share the common goal of public service. To Mr. Stephen Tan, huwag po kayong magsawa sa mga kawang-gawa na inyong sinimulan. Malaking bagay ang nababahagi ninyo di lamang sa ating gobyerno, kundi pati na rin sa ating mamamayan. To the men and women of the Commission on Elections, represented by Chairman Saidamin Pangarungan, mabuhay kayo sa walang humpay na serbisyo at pagmamahal sa paglilingkod. Again, good afternoon, everyone, and stay safe, Pilipinas.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Casquejo, for your message to our voting public. You know, it is right that the Commission on Elections, as well as SM Supermalls, does have one common goal, is public service. At this point, I would like to request for our signatories to please stand up and hold a memorandum of agreement, which so for a photo op. So to our guests that are here with us, feel free to stand up. You could move closer to get a good photo, and then to our on stage, you could take off your mask for a brief moment. Again, we're just having them take off the mask for a photo op.
Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa.
So again, those that are getting their photos. We'll just get a few more photos behind the table, and then in a few seconds, we're going to ask our gentleman to move in front for one more photo. Gentlemen, if you could please proceed in front of the table for one more photo. The mask can be taken off briefly just for this photo opportunity.
Ligtas at maayos, bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin kumpleto.
Again, if you could kindly hold the memorandum of agreement up. Again, of course, this is signed already. And then just to let our guests know, right after this photo op, they will be notarized. The memorandum of agreement will be notarized by the notary public right after.
Botohang sigurado na walang dayaan. Bawat boto mabibilang, bawantaya.
So again, the signed documents will of course be notarized by the notary public to be able to make this all official. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Another round of applause, please.
Vote safe lahat tayo. Vote safe, siguradong paganda. Eleksyon ay idadaos ng ligtas at maayos. Bilang ng boto ng tao, asahan natin.
So at this point, we would like to thank, of course, Mr. Bien C. Mateo before we move on to the next part of our program. So it's now time to move on to our press conference, and this will be moderated by Jada Hines. You may now take this time to be able to prepare all your questions for our esteemed guests. So Filipinas, this has been your host, Hanyo Busan. Enjoy the rest of your day, and of course, together, let's vote Pinas. Let's move on to the press conference.
Once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May we call on Director James B. Jimenez to join the presidential table for the press conference? Thank you. So again, a gentle reminder for the media, we will be only entertaining questions related to the project Let's Vote Pinas. So for our first question, may we call on Ms. Tina Panganiban Perez from GMA?
Good afternoon po. For anyone, can someone po walk us through the mechanics? Like, are you just limiting the hands-on experience of the VCMs to actual voters, or can any mall goer just go and try? And will this be done during mall hours every day?
Sir James?
All right, thank you very much. We're working on the final draft of the plans, but the broad strokes of it are, number one, we will be mirroring the mall hours. So when the mall opens at 10, we will be open at that time as well. Second, it will be available, the experience will be available to everyone who wants to participate. Hindi natin ililimit to registered voters only because syempre, yung hindi registered voter ngayon can be a registered voter in the next election. So we educate everyone.
Sir, for any COMELEC official po, is the COMELEC considering mall voting for election 2022?
Pasa ko yan kay Commissioner Marlon
Thank you,
for policy.
Okay. I think that was in 2016 elections where
Yes, sir.
mall voting was considered by Chairman Bautista. But there are things to be done before this will be approved. And for this 2022 elections, it was not considered.
Right. Sir, may I ask why it wasn't considered at all? Sir, wala pong audio.
One, hindi pa masyadong maliwanag yung legal basis for transferring yung voting to the malls. Kasi as of now, ang standard operating procedure is that the voters will go to their voting centers and vote there. If you transfer that, there are several criteria to be considered. Is it centrally located for all the voters within the precinct or within the barangay or within the municipality? So yun pa yung inaaral.
Thank you po.
Okay, thank you very much. A gentle reminder again, we'll be entertaining questions related to the project Let's Vote Pinas. Okay, next question, we have RG Cruz from ABS-CBN. Okay, next, Melissa Lopez from CNN.
Good afternoon, Melissa from CNN Philippines. First, sir, may nabanggit kanina about 300,000 mock ballots pala. Is that a total for the entire 78 mall network, or are we setting a cap per day, per branch?
We expect to allocate around 800 ballots per day.
Per site, sir.
Per site, yes.
Thank you. And a follow-up question, it was discussed earlier, sir, si Chairman and then si OSHA Commissioner Marlon, there was a repeated mention that the PCMs are tamper-proof, etc. Meron po kasing fresh allegations coming from a presidential candidate na there could be cheating on the election day, benefiting the camp of Marcos. How would this effort help appease or address those kinds of allegations? Thank you.
With your indulgence, Melissa, we'll take that up in the next regular briefing of the COMELEC.
All right, thank you.
Okay, for our last question, we have Mr. Greg Gregorio from TV5.
Good afternoon, sirs. Just a clarification. When we said now we are going to have this voter education across 78 malls, across 78 SM Supermalls nationwide, do we mean we are allotting 78 vote counting machines in all of them?
We already have counting machines in the field. So we've been conducting VCM demos all over the country. And for the days that we set aside for SM, that's where our machines will be. So we do have a lot of machines out for demo purposes. And yun ang gagamitin natin.
And these vote counting machines will also be prepared for the May 9 after the 24, or this is totally different? Sorry, just another clarification, sir. Do we mean after the 24th, during the last day of the voter ed with the Vote Pinas, we're going to prepare these machines to be used on May 9?
Yes, our standard practice for VCM demos is that after the demos have been completed, they are then recovered, retrieved, and made ready for use in the elections as contingency machines. They're not going to see action right away, but they will be on standby just in case we need them.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. That's it for our questions. Again, for the media, we will be having our regular press. Oh, okay, another question.
Sir, during the voters education, di ba may mga information ilalagay doon? Masisecure ba yung information ng mga voters educate for that matter dun sa mga PCM?
Yung sasabihin ng mga demonstrators natin, lahat yan galing sa COMELEC. So those the information that they will be giving out will be cleared by the COMELEC. Yes.
It includes also the names of the candidates?
No, the ballots are dummy ballots, so they have fictitious names.
So only fictitious name, but
yes.
it will not be used the candidates present or filed. To be clear, hindi gagamitin yung mga kandidato ngayon, sir.
No, hindi. Hindi namin ginagamit ang pangalan ng tunay na kandidato for demo purposes.
But for the information of the one who will try the DCM, yung information nila, it been secured ba or not?
Yung information nila will be what?
Secured or not? Kasi hihingin siya, di ba? Before you try the DCM, you have to get the information of the person. Is it correct?
We don't gather personal information.
Or optional?
Sorry?
Optional or you never got?
We don't gather personal information. Nagagather lang kami ng personal information, my friend, kapag registration and only for that purpose. So kunyari, nagde-demo kami, hindi namin hihingi ng ID mo para malaman ang birthday mo. Dinidemohan ka nga namin eh. Di ba?
Just to clarify.
Tinuturoan ka namin paano gumamit ng balota, lahat tinuturoan natin. So we don't gather private information.
Thank you.
Okay, for the next question is a question for SM. I have received a question here. Gaano na katagal ang partnership with SM and COMELEC, and how many malls will be participating for this project?
To answer that question first, we have been partners since 2014. So matagal na tong partnership na to. This is not just a one-shot deal. As I've said earlier, since 2014, nag-umpisa yan sa biometrics. Tapos last year, mga February 2021, we even had an event here also in Mall of Asia for the voters registration for the public. No, the objective or the goal of SM and COMELEC is very aligned to provide a safe, honest, and efficient, voting come May 2022. No. So pareho tayo ng objective, so it's very aligned. So we're here to support COMELEC in whatever capacity we can. Thank you.
A follow-up question, Mr. Steven. How many malls will be participating for this
All
project?
78 malls will be participating.
Ladies and gentlemen, all 78 malls of SM will be participating for this project. Okay, since we don't have any more questions in line, I will now close the press conference. Again, for the media, we will be having a regular press briefing, and for your other matters question, please reserve them for that. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great day. A round of applause, everyone.
Para sa Pilipino, kahit sino, malinis na halalan patas sa lahat ng tao, bigay todo namin babantayan. Mula botohan ng bilangan vote sa ibang mamamayan. Alisin ang pangamba, nakasisiguro pa, vote safe lahat tayo, vote safe